Dylan Keel. I am 39. I live in Athens, Georgia. I recently opened Classic City Vintage Guitars here in Athens. And so I'd love to do a walkthrough, but I think part of the charm of my shop is seeing it from the outside first.
Okay.
Because it's completely nondescript.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, all right. I'm going to just walk through. Here's my, so I designed my logo myself.
Yeah.
And did all that over margaritas one night with my wife. And so this is, can you see? No, let me turn this around. Shit. Okay, so this area is called the Chase Park Warehouses. And basically, you know, there's a tattoo parlor down the way, and there's a yoga studio and a coffee shop. And this is the view out of the front. It's a concrete factory. And then we have some gentrification.
Oh my God, you're getting gentrified up in there?
Coming up over here. But then, so there's this room next door called the Tree Room, which is really cool. And this is what I thought it was, this room in here where my shop was going to be. And it's like this event space that's just totally cool. They have weddings down here. And so originally I thought that my shop was going to be where those windows were. And so this is the Tree Room. It's really cool. Like I said, there's weddings down here, and they have jazzercise classes. But there's a lot of like independently owned businesses down here, and there's a recording studio. And then so this is my shop. When you're walking up, I don't have a sign or anything. I just have an old Stella in the window. You can see kind of.
Yeah.
And then I usually have a passion flower vine, but it's dead. But so this is it. And then there's just a door, and then you walk in, and it's kind of.
How you feeling about security there? Like the door is like.
So the door, I've got a push button kind of thing that locks.
Yeah.
And then I've also got the Simply Safe.
Yeah.
I've got cameras everywhere.
Cool.
I've got a camera in the back room. But so I've got a couch because every guitar store I've ever been in, my wife gets bored and says I'm going to the car. So I've got a couch and a coffee table. It's got, you know, nice 16-foot ceilings. I stock amps.
So what did this? So can I back you up? Do you mind talking numbers really quick?
Yeah.
So this is commercial real estate. You didn't buy this space, correct? This is
no, absolutely not. No.
So what was your initial, like, when you walked in, was any of it set up to go, or did you have to like completely rehab this space from you know, rat turds and dust bunnies?
It was a dress shop.
Oh, it was a dress shop?
When I walked in, it looked like a sweatshop. There were like 6 tables with women sewing. And I walked in and I said, hey, there's a space for rent somewhere around here. Like, can you tell me where it is? And they said, oh, it's this space. And right after that, the landlord showed up, and then he gave me the walkthrough. The owner lived upstairs, which is where I was at before. So she was living up there, and then the downstairs, this main room was the sewing room, and in the back was the dress gallery, and that's where my
the owner of the dress shop or the owner of the building?
The owner of the dress shop. She lived here.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I rent this space, and it's fairly cheap considering the square footage. It's, I think, 1,700 square feet. There's the main downstairs area that has, you know, really tall ceilings, and the 16-foot brick wall from the 1800s, which is always great in a retail space.
Yeah.
The only thing that I did was I built the rack on the wall for the guitars.
Can you flip the camera again and just kind of show us that really quick? So
I built the rack up here that holds the guitars, and I also built the guitar bar.
Okay.
And so this way I can kind of like hold court and work while people are coming in and looking at guitars. And also I wanted to hide that it's a kitchen, you know. So I've got, you know, tools that I don't really use that much that people can see me, you know, looking good. And then I've got, you know, my strings, I've got my coffee
Uh-huh.
maker, I've got my perfect guitar shop signs,
Uh-huh.
I've got a sink, and then I've got my taco cart bench here with clamps. I've got my CD player and my CDs and my PV amp, and then I've got the oven set up so that I've got a piece of plywood on it. I can have guitars laying here. I've got my phone. And then I have, you know, I'm able to stand back here and check customers out when they do pickups. And then I've got, you know, basically everything that I need to luth, you know, right here, you know, in these drawers.
I think we have the same cabinet. I've got that same Husky thing. I'm not sure.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I've got that same thing.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's really nice because I'm, you know, like I said, I'm just able to like just be here, and people come in and I don't have to like come out of my lair to greet customers because I'm the only person in this shop.
You've got a shop
here.
panopticon going on there.
Yeah. And so I try to keep 20 guitars on the wall. I do consignments. I do pedals. And I try to keep it, you know, kitschy with weird shit. And I of course have my quintessential, you know, guitars on the wall that aren't for sale, which is another like every guitar shop I've ever been into. They're like, you're like, hey, how much is that one? You're like, oh, that's not for sale.
That's NFS.
That's the owner's. And I have a little cart that I do check-ins on. So when people come in, they can have somewhere to put their guitar, and we look it over, and then I write up a ticket. I only stock Diodario strings because they're affordable and they're the best strings you can get. Terry Allen is a local photographer, and he's done a lot of like, you know, there's local bands like REM and B-52s and Widespread Panic. And over here, I've got the Black Crows and another REM, but he donated these pictures to the shop. They're for sale, but they are, you know, they're kind of just hung here for display. There's Neil and Patty, and then I've got Joey over the bench. And yeah, like I said, it's just like it's the perfect space for me to be able to like run the whole, you know, show by myself without having to hire anybody.
So what are you doing for tool room? Do you have a tool room where you can get grubby?
So my tool room is the old dress gallery. And so it's in the back. And so this is the tool room. I've got a bench back here. And so this is the full, so I've got my buffer and my toolbox, and then I've got, you know, parts, drawers over here. And then, you know, there's a bench there, table saw in the middle. I've got all my, you know, repairs that are in, and then shelving. And then I've got tools here, and then my dust collection back there. Got all my hand planes back there. And of course, you know, there's all this track lighting. Yeah, Doug, I got the Radio Shack drawers. Of course, Radio Shack going out of business was the worst thing that ever happened to anybody who ever made anything. But I've got, you know, I was really stoked. I could have bought every cart of tools fully stocked from the Radio Shack for $900, and I didn't. I wish I would have. So I bought this.
So wait, those bins were like they were for sale in like a Radio Shack garage sale or going out of business sale?
Yeah, Radio Shack was going out of business, and so
boy, the action on those drawers looks real smooth.
Oh, it's so great. I'm only doing it because it's so gratifying just to open them. I've had like so many different, you know, cool vintage, you know, parts drawers that are just such a pain in the ass to deal with, and these are always just so nice. But so I've got everything, you know, all my used parts in there.
So dust collection. I noticed you have like probably what about a two horse Delta or something back there, or is that a Grizzly? I can't.
You know, I had a Delta, but so whenever I was starting to set up shop, I had a bunch of tools that I had bought from yard sales and stuff, and I found a guy on Facebook Marketplace, and he was selling. So he was selling the Win, he was selling the Recon, the smaller bandsaw. He was selling the dust collection. He was selling the chip collector. and he was selling this router table here.
Yeah.
And so, and also with like a brand new 1617 router, which I love those. So I have a couple of them. But I was able to get everything for $1,000. So I went ahead and just bought it all. And then I got rid of my Delta dust collector because it was a little older. But yeah, this is just it's a harbor resentment, as you say, with the filter top.
Yeah.
So I really like it. It works real good.
Okay, and you've got the Cyclone Separator there. Is that usually in line to the tool, or are you?
I've never used it. I don't really make a lot of chips, so I just haven't used it. I'm actually looking at, I just got this table saw. I also had this was a thing. I had a Delta Unisaw that I had bought from Jeff Callahan, my friend from Wildwood. He had bought the old Delta from Wildwood when they got a saw stop. And so I bought it from him, but whenever I moved into this space, to get 240 back here was going to cost me like $1,500. So I was able to sell that Unisaw I sold it for $1,200, and I was able to get this brand new Grizzly from a guy in Marietta for $900.
Yeah, is that a hybrid saw, or is that actual?
Yeah, it is. It's a so it's the 10-inch hybrid table saw.
Yeah,
and it works great, but it plugs, instead of having to run power, it plugs right into the floor, which is killer. The only thing is that because I'm just cheap, I haven't had more power brought back here. And there's a plug that I thought worked whenever I moved into the space, but it actually doesn't work. So I have an extension cord. But with the power, I'm able to power all of my tools because I'm only using one of them at a time. But then for the dust collection, since I needed on a separate breaker, I have it running into I've got it running into the bathroom, which is kind of ghetto. But what are you gonna do?
Well, you might want to talk to your landlord about getting that outlet going, but
No, I know. Yeah.
But anyway, not to say that you don't have a million other things to do, but that looks great. I just I was wondering if, like, it looks so clean, like I would be worried about the dust in there, but it looks good. Are you doing a lot of cleaning in there to keep the dust down?
Truth be told, I told my wife I was going to be on Luthier Cribs today, and she came in and helped me.
That's so nice.
Yeah,
one thing I might say that just as kind of a thing is you might want to add a air, like a ceiling air filter in there. Oh, you got one. Okay.
Yeah, I've got the WEN, and I did have an electrician come in and run power for that.
Okay.
So yeah, I do have the WEN that I power up, and whenever we're on the table saw, I just run a long snake
hose good
over here, and that works well. It does stay fairly clean. I will say my favorite thing, and when I first moved in, I really hated these bars, because all of this was already built in, like all of these rails all around, but they didn't have shelves on them. So there was a day that I was in here that it was totally empty. I had all of these guitars that I owned lined up against a wall where the bench was. And I was looking over here at this wall and I'm like, God, I'm going to have to build some like guitar case racks, which, like, one of the things that I hate doing most is building, big things that take up space, that serve a purpose that don't really do anything but that one purpose. But so when I walked over and I set a guitar case on that rack and realized that I could, like, just put
that was just a dress rack, right? That was for hanging clothes on, garment rack.
Yeah. And so the guitars fit. I was just so excited.
Oh, that is exciting. Turnkey operation.
Yeah, I didn't have to do anything. And so for my guitars that are on the wall, I built under the stairs. I did build this this like wall where my DHU and my humidifier live on the bottom, and then I've got cases for all the guitars that are out here. So that's really nice.
So was that cool rustic stairway? Was that already in there when you
Yeah,
guys?
look at this thing. It's like they're just logs, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, the one thing that is really helpful with my landlord is he is a entomologist who
Uh,
studies ants,
uh-huh.
and he's also a woodworker. So my wife being a biologist and me being a woodworker,
Oh
he
boy, yeah.
really likes us. Yeah, and that's
Okay.
really helpful. Um,
So what are you doing? Are you able to do any lacquer work at all? I don't see any kind of like
No, I
outside
don't.
of that.
I do if I'm like doing a headstock repair, if I'm doing something that's just a small spray or something small, then
Uh,
I'll do it. But you know, as you know, we have one of the best um, finishing experts in the Southeast right here in Athens. So anytime somebody calls me with any sort of lacquer work or they need anything sprayed, I send them to Matt
okay.
Eady. And
What's that
yeah,
big circular thing there in the wall? Was that
so
a boarded up like go into the next area? Oh, that would go to the tree room, right?
well, it goes to the unit behind the tree room.
Oh, okay.
And so it was a doorway. And so now I've just recently started doing this program. It's a YouTube channel that I'm calling Classic City Limits.
Uh-huh.
And what I do is I take clients that have had a guitar repaired here or just a local artist, and I invite them to the shop. I move, you know, all of these are on wheels. So I move this stuff out of the way and set up a camera and a microphone and an amp and use that as like a backdrop.
Oh, it's really
Um,
cool. Looks like a
so that's
portal into another dimension.
yeah. So that's the backdrop for my Classic City Limits thing. It's worked out really well. This room, like, you know, before you notice that the main room has got horrible acoustics, there's a lot of reverb, but these two other rooms are really quiet and well insulated. So you know, everything sounds really good in here. Um, and then, so I've been doing the Classic City Limits thing. I've recently started because Jeff Callahan, the guy that I worked at Wildwood with, he is a pretty well-known OEM pickup maker. He builds like all of JW Black's pickups that go to Bill Frisell and for a lot of other OEM guys that are builders. So he's building, you know, just standard vintage wound pickups for the shop. We're doing Tellys, humbuckers, and jazz masters, and calling them Classic City vintage pickups. And then I've also got a guy in Nashville who's doing local branded pedals. So we're doing the Georgia Peach Fuzz. We're doing the Highway 316 overdrive, and then the Bulldog boost pedal. And Ted's done a lot of, you know, helping me with, you know, the decals for those because he's got his decal printer. So that's been a big help. And we just got those off to Nashville this week. So I'm hoping to release those soon. And so yeah, I've got, you know, I've been doing like, you know, stickers and got the business cards, but my wife and I did the logos. And so upstairs, I'll show you that. I've got storage for all of my lumber and bodies and things like that, which isn't much, but
Got your little veranda up there.
yeah. And then so it's got a, you know, kind of the overlooking of the shop, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I'm about to convert this room upstairs into this is going to be the acoustic room. I've got tons of guitars that I've been buying that all need to be restored, but I'll build a rack on this wall and do, you know, basically just an acoustic room up here. I've got the shipping and receiving department here. And yeah, it's a small room. But it's to have it just as a closet, it's kind of a waste of, you know, 400 square feet.
I have to go, and I love this. This is awesome. And Dylan, thank you. You're really amazing. And you make me wish I was young again. You're awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. If it hadn't have been for your StuMac videos, I may have stayed at that damn factory forever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're on the right road, man. It's awesome.
Thank
Bye,
you, Dan.
everyone.